I think I might be a couple minutes late, but hello. And I meant to put a hat on. I look a fright tonight, but it's been rainy. I've been racing around since I got home. So I'm gonna go over here and find the live on my iPad. I'll be right back. Turn it down. Be right there, guys. Okay, one more thing here. Okay, hey Abby. I'm here. Do you ever have one of those days when you think you're pretty well planned and then it just kind of goes poof? We never know if we're going to get out of the office at 3 on Fridays or not. I highly suspected that I was going to, because we had my boss, which is we have my boss, her dad, who is an attorney. My boss is an attorney. And then we have little sister, who is also in the office. And the two sisters were talking about going to an exercise class. So I thought, we're getting out of here. So, but I don't ever go unless they say you can go. Because, just assuming can get you into trouble. So I was staying there about quarter after. She came in and said, no, you can go. And I'm like, out of here. And then it was pouring down rain, which we need. Thank you, Lord, for the rain. In Boise, there was an accident on the freeway that slowed everyone down. And hi, Angie. I better put my glasses back on so I can see. Hi, Sarah. So I got home about 20 after 4, and I was so hungry. I don't break for lunch on Fridays. In the event we get off early, so I try to get as much done as I can. So I hurry up and ate, and then I'm in the garage today. You probably can tell from the doors, but I'm in the garage. So I had to actually set up the tables, bring the big tank out, drag everything outside, the lights, all that stuff had to come out. So it was a little crazy getting ready, so I apologize for being late. But I guess I should start at the beginning. I'm Linda Anderson. I'm the owner of Aqueous Silk, and I forgot to turn this around. Let's see if I can still do it. There, now you can read my sweatshirt. I'm the owner of Aqueous Silk, and I do water marbling. And we are working in the big long tank tonight. I'm going to do a couple big 72-inch scarves. And then I'm going to do the paper that I prepped the other night, and also the quilt blocks. So we'll be out here a while doing, sorry, got messages popping up on my screen. Doing marbling in the big tank. It's fun to get this one out. I can fit all my sheets of paper on here. If I wanted to, I could put all my quilt blocks in one tank, but I don't want to. I want them to be slightly different. So I thank you for joining me. If you see the red blocks right here that says live, that means you are, or if you don't see it, that means you're watching the replay. Go ahead, hashtag replay, and I will pop in and say hello to you. This month we are giving away 3 gifts during the course of this 31 days of live. And please comment, like and follow my page, and sprinkle out the video. As I've mentioned before, I am trying to grow my business, and the more eyes that get on it, the better, so they can see what I do. So, and it looks like I'm frozen on my iPad. I don't know if it's my internet or if it is Facebook. So I'm going to give it a minute and see if it unfreezes. But let me, in the meantime, I'm going to carry on, and I bet it is frozen because it says nobody's here. Oh, there we go. Now we're back. I apologize. Oh, good. Thank you, Abby. That's so helpful. Thank you very much. So let me go ahead and mess with the camera and get it tilted down so you can see the, must just be the internet. I don't know why, but it was frozen on my iPad. So you can see as much as the tank as you can. This is a 74-inch tank. Let's see, the scarves are a 76-inch tank. And I can't get my camera high enough to get the whole thing yet. I need a taller arm on my camera, but I'll get as much of it I can in there. So it's going to be wiggling around a little bit, so if that bothers you, look away for a minute. And then we'll get playing with paint and water. So that's nearly the whole thing. Just trying to see where you can see my hand. So there's about 2 feet more beyond my hand, if you can see where my hand is, right here. There's another 2 feet. But, excuse me, I cannot get it all in the picture. So I'll be trying to catch comments over here on the iPad. If I miss your comment, don't be offended. I will come back and answer your questions and say hello. It's just when I'm working, it's very difficult for me to also watch the comments. So, how's everyone today? Happy Friday. Oh my goodness, we made it. Another week down. Another week closer to the holidays. Holy cow. I am just stunned that the end of the year is just coming upon us so quickly. Okay, I'm just gonna skim the surface to make sure there's no dust or debris on there that would cause an imperfection. Things in my shop right now. I do have kits if you're interested to learn how to do these. It gives you everything you need to try out several different mediums, paper, cloth, wood. All the instructions, and it comes with a hand-bound little booklet and a marbled cover. So, all right. So when I was at my show last Saturday, a week ago Saturday, someone commented that I had no fall looking scarves. So we're going to do 2 tonight. So let me come over here and pick out some colors. I have my little bins of colors over here, and it's about 3 bottles short from holding all of my paint. So I always have them scattered around somewhere. All right. And unfortunately, I cannot do metallics on cloth. I keep wanting to. Choose this one, and I want a green. I was having creative ideas all day today and all day yesterday. So I think we're gonna start by dropping this one. Instead of a white or ecru, I have one that's just an off-white that looks really pretty, but I think we're gonna use this gold. I'm just dropping this onto the water. The water has a little bit of seaweed powder in it, and that just thickens it slightly so it can support the paint. And everybody asks, is the paint thin? And this one isn't quite enough, and it depends on the paint, depends on the type of paint you're using, it depends on the color you're using. So sometimes, yes, I did have to thin this one, but this was a heavy body acrylic when I started. And I still need to thin it a little bit more, but if I give it time, it will disperse completely. I did a pink using a heavy body because that's all I could get. And I dropped them out and I didn't let it disperse all the way. And I don't mean to be crude, but oh my gosh, when I printed, it looked like little boobs on the fabric. Hi Michelle, welcome. Hi Dorothy. So there I have a base down. I have this corner up here that is still trying to, I don't think you can see all the way up here, but it's still trying to disperse some, so I'm going to give it a minute. And this, when you're putting paint in the tray, you're putting it, you want a lot of paint so it shows the beautiful colors. The more paint you put in, the prettier your colors are going to be, because this is about surface tension. All the colors are pushing against one another. And as you know, I cannot work without a paper towel in my hand. So how are we doing here? We look like we're dispersed. Yeah, we're good. So let's see this is a new green for me. So let's see how it's going to behave on top of this. Oh, it's doing just fine. Oh, now I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. We don't really want me to sneeze. Once I start sneezing, I can sneeze for about 10 minutes. I've sneezed for 15 before in a row, just continuously. I start sneezing, and my husband says, "Get out to the garage. Go outside." He always makes fun of me. But I can't help it. So there we have the green down. That's such a pretty green. I truly like this green. I have another one that's a lot more yellow than that. It's pretty, but this is just a lot different. I have some bubbles down here. We'll see if they dissipate. So I'll use that one. And I don't know if I want this one. Decisions. Let's use this one. All right, hopefully that tip is clear. Some of the paint had dried around around the bottom of this top, and it just fell right into the water. All right. So now we're going to try. Be thinking, I guess I could do some purples, a deep purple. What else would I put with it that's kind of fall-like? I always end up doing more at one end than I do the other. And this is called Ebrew water marbling. It's not tie-dye. It's not spin art. It's not hydro dipping. Those are all the things that people call this form of when they walk by at a show or something. So it's Ebrew water marbling. It's a very ancient art form. And I am so excited that I get to do it. Well, apparently I wasn't patient enough for that one. Just want to shake this one a minute. Burnt orange. I think this one is going to be as close. I have, this burnt sienna. I don't really have a burnt orange, and I had one in my other paint line that I mixed. It was like UT colors, University of Texas, that orange. It was just almost perfect for that. Oh, this looks pretty. This one that I used, see, I've started labeling my colors now, so I know what color is what. The name, actual name of it. And then, you know, there's so many reds that in order to get the right red back in the bottle when I'm refilling, I need to know which one it was to begin with. All the things that you learn and you don't think of when you start, and you're all excited and there's that. This is acrylic paint. Just regular artist's acrylic paint. It's a high quality acrylic. High Sandra, excuse me. Would back go? Oh, black. In this paint, I can't read apparently. Hey, Colleen. Black. You said black, not back. In this paint, I don't like to use the black. Sometimes when I print, it smudges. I will use the black in my other paint brand. So it just, I don't know. I did sometimes it's just fine, sometimes not. I guess I could do a little bit of it. See what it's going to do. Yeah, the next one I'll do in the other brand of paint. I don't know about that. Oh, I didn't use this one yet. Let's use this one. I'm gonna just dab a little bit of this in the corner and see what it looks like. Oh, it's almost like that other one, so we'll not do that one. All right, let's try a little bit of this black. I may regret it, but we'll see. We'll just add a little bit. And black is a pretty pushy color. Yeah, I think I need one or two more down at this end. It's like I need to pull some images up and look at those and try to figure out and mix the right colors and all of that. I know in my head what I want it to look like, but that doesn't help. Let's see. This is what I want now. Whoops. Throwing paint down. So now the next thing is I can just freestyle this tank, or I can do the, hello Carla, use my other tools and comb it. I think I'll freestyle this one and comb the next one. How about that? So I've got a bubble down here. Bubbles are not our friends. I need a really, like a wheat color, I think is what I'm looking for. Oh, this is going to be pretty though. I can't wait to get up to where you can see it move. And I could color block this if I wanted to. Meaning I can start like lay a base down and then come back and put, you know, in the middle one color and then work my way out to each end, just blocks of different colors. I could kind of work in stripes. So it's a lot warmer in here than I thought it was going to be. My sweatshirt is almost too much. I think it's because I was hustling around so much trying to get everything ready. Oh, this is so fun. You know, this orange color might have been a pretty base as well. And if you can tell, I'm not moving the paint so much that we lose the color definition. Pardon me. The colors will never blend on the surface, but you can still move it so much that you really don't get to see all the pretty colors because the lines are so very fine. I always tell people when they're working in the tanks to don't want to stir it like you're stirring soup. Just kind of move it. Get a little motion going. So how are you liking that? Oh, this is so fun. After racing around, trying to get here, get everything ready, this is so wonderful. And I have my tank set, so I have a little bit of room. When I go to print this, I can do, yeah, I do too, Angie. Thank you, Colleen. I can move it to one side or the other if I liked it better on one side. Yeah, there's just a little bit of black. I think that's gonna just make it pop a little bit. All right, I think I'm done with it. Do you think it looks good? Are we ready to print? Okay, all right, Michelle likes it. Let me get a drink. Now when I picked this scarf up, It's going to be hard for me to show you. I will try to roll it over. Thank you, Bobby. Okay, Colleen likes it. Oh, you like these colors? All right, let me go get my assistant because it does take 2 people. Okay, dear. I have a frame that I tried to use so I can print them myself, but I don't like, I just don't like the way they look very well. Get the rinse bucket over here. These scarves are 14 inches wide by 72 inches long. Okay, cool. So now what I'm going to do is just go around. You can see on the outside there is that white. That's the hem that's still floating on the top of the water most of the way around the scarf. So I just make sure the entire hem gets printed so that you don't have some funny looking scarf. You know, it's all beautiful color and then you have these white edges. And these are 100% silk scarves. Sometimes I will, once it's dry and is hung for a while and I heat set it, I will prep it a second time and then do something. I'll choose one of the colors and just do one of the colors on the back. But I don't do that always. Sometimes I forget. All right. So there it is. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Angie. The black looked like it behaved fairly well. And I'm just rinsing it in some regular water. I have a bucket of water here. And I will just give it a little bit of rinse. That just gets some of the excess paint out of it. And I forgot to bring myself out a towel. That just gets any excess paint off the surface, or at least some of it. And then I'm just going to put it in a baggie. And then it'll just stay there until, hello, Ramona from Louisiana. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Colleen. Welcome to Idaho. I've been in the state of Louisiana once, and it was quite beautiful. I nearly wet my pants when we were going to go on I don't know what they call it, a boat ride, and you know, kind of not in the swamp, but we were going to go see alligators or crocodiles or whatever they are, and it was raining. I was out there in my flip-flops, and no, it won't come off now that it's on there, Michelle. And it was a wooden sidewalk to walk up to the building to go for the boat ride, and you know, we were by the water, and so, you know, it says caution, you know, pay attention and all that. And I saw something move, and I squealed, and I started running. And I'm lucky I didn't fall. I was ready to get up in the waiting area and just stand on the table. I was so frightened. I don't do any reptilian type animal very well, and I was so scared. And I made sure we were in a boat that had a top on it because I could just see a snake falling from one of the trees or something. I have a very vivid imagination. And everybody was teasing me, and it was beautiful out there though. We had a wonderful trip. I took my youngest daughter and my oldest daughter, and then my oldest daughter's now former boyfriend. So what I'm doing now is just putting newsprint down on the water, and it's going to take off the remaining paint, and then we'll be ready to start again. You know, mixing the paint colors, it's just an art in and of itself. If I have something to look at, I can do pretty well. When I made the UT orange, the burnt orange, I was trying to make brown, so I considered it unsuccessful because I did not make brown, and I wanted brown. And I was watching, I think it was Michelle from Wilds Creek and Company the other day, and I believe she said it was purple and something make brown. And for the life of me, I cannot remember what she said. Come on, notes. We were in, well, we stayed in, is it called Metairie? Oh, I apologize if I didn't say that correctly. And it was down between there and New Orleans somewhere, because our event, I was a vendor at Wreath Makers Live when it was in New Orleans. And that was so fun. That was it was a quick trip. We were exhausted, but it was so stinking fun. My daughters that were there, I must admit, they weren't there to help very, very long. And then they wanted to go out and, walk down Bourbon Street and get a drink. And oh, thank you, Tammy. No worries, Shelley. You're not late. Heavens, I was late getting on here. You have the replay. You are never late. I'll just jibber jabber on all to myself if need be, and everybody can do the replay. But it's nice to have somebody to talk to, I must admit. So there we go. There's scarf number 1. You know, as I said last night, I love how versatile this is. I can incorporate this into so many of the things that I enjoy doing anyway and have always done. And I thought, the other day I was thinking I'd love to do a piece of Adia cloth for counted cross stitch and just do some little bit of color in the background and just do one color, not a super dark color, and then do a cross stitch pattern on the top of it with that in the background. So this is the way my brain works. Ooh, I could, and then run wild. Okay, I need to clean it one more time. I'll take one piece. So remember, I'd like you to like and follow my page, sprinkle out the video so that I can grow this business. And anyone who does those things, and comment, please comment. That's wonderful as well. You do all that and you are in for the drawing. I have 3 different prizes. Thank you, Shelley, that I will be giving away this month. All right, so now we're gonna try the other paint. So this is kind of my UT color. There's not very much in there. And in this paint line, I don't have an Ebrew like I do in the other one. I think that'll be pretty. I know navy's the big hot color for fall, but I just don't know that I have the right color. Do I want to put a purple in there? This is what I'm thinking so far. I don't think that purple goes, do you? I think the blue that I have, oh, here it is. I think this is just too bright. Yeah, that's too bright. So let's see if we have any suggestions. Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. What about it? Ooh, oh, I just had a thought here. What about this? Thank you. I appreciate it, Tammy. What about this? It's kind of the burnt orange, a brighter orange, a green, and the teal, the deeper teal. Shall we try that? That kind of looks pretty. Yeah, okay. Anybody else? Yeah, I see hearts and thumbs up. Okay, let's go with that. And so I think I'm going to use the brighter orange as the base color. And I'm going to do the teal a lot like we did the, thank you, Linda. Thank you, Shelley. I'll just add a little bit of teal. I'm not going to go crazy with it, but let's see how it looks when it gets down on the water. I always, when I create, it's always a moving target. I have a picture in my head of how I think it should look. Now remember, these are my other paint colors. I actually have 3 different brands that I use. And this is my easiest to work with. This is the type that will come in your kit if you buy a kit, because it's nearly foolproof. But there's just not. Hi June, welcome. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you liked them. But my designing is always a moving target. I get something in my head, and then if I can't accomplish that, then it'll kind of take off in a different direction, and I end up someplace I didn't expect. Usually I'm pretty happy with it, but I know that's probably the way it is for a lot of creators. I know this part of it isn't that exciting, watching me drop the paint. But it is a necessary part of it. Now, if we make something tonight, one of these scarves, and you just have to have it, you send me a message and we can get that handled. I would have to send me a message with your email and I can invoice you for it. Oh, good. I'm glad you enjoy it. And there will be no math tonight at all. Yeah, that's right, Colleen. Hi, Louise. Welcome. No two are ever the same. We could work in 2 tanks, side by side, put our paints down in the exact same order, in the exact same kind of locations. You really couldn't get them in the same locations, but it could be close. And they would turn out completely different. Even if we use the exact same tools. Now this one I'm going to comb. And I'll show you what that means when it's time. Look at, can you tell that orange is getting brighter? That's what I mean about, thank you, Rachel. I appreciate it. I saw what you made today. I couldn't hear it, but I saw it. I had it up on a corner of my computer. This is what I mean by they push against one another. As this green falls into the water, it pushes on the orange and it pushes it back together because the orange was trying to fill the space. And so it was all spreading out. Rachel, do you have baseball this weekend? Another tournament? All right, so this is my UT color. We are huge sports fans in our house. We love college sports. And so that's why I kind of, it's a UT color because it reminds me of their school colors. So now let's put the teal in. Oh, it's wanting to bubble on me. And we'll start down here. Yeah. Rocky Top. Yeah, Tennessee is not one of the teams I cheer for. They're not one I dislike though either. I do have some that I passionately dislike. So now what I think, I want to come back. Oops. Drop the paint cap and I'm not sure where it went. All right, let me take my glasses off so I can see at a distance. Should be a little red cap. Oh, found it. So I think I'm going to come back and put a little bit more green into the teal so it'll kind of take that teal down a little bit. Teal is a very strong color, so it likes to push. So we'll just push it back a little bit. So I'm going to try to drop green in each one of the teals. Whoops. When my teams are obviously the University of Idaho. They're not you know, like in the big college, the SEC or anything like that. They're just a small team, smaller school. Washington State from the Pac-12. is one of the ones I like. I love Baylor. I love TCU, and I love Texas Tech. My grandparents were born and raised in Texas, and so I say I have Texas roots. That's why I have always selected teams, except I never had like the Dallas Cowboys my entire life. I don't watch much pro ball at all anymore, but we do watch college ball. I like Colorado State. Who else? And we'll see if my daughter gets into vet school this fall, and then I'll add that team to the list. All right, so there we go. Let's see what this is going to look like. Looks a little crazy right now. So now I'm just going to go back and forth the entire tank. This is a very traditional way to do this. And I may come in even after I get this done and add a little bit more of the UT to it. It's so bright. And these back and forth strokes can be as far apart as you want it. That's what I love about this. There's really, as long as the paint is floating and you know, that's really it. As long as your paint is floating, everything else is exactly what you want it to be. I think this is going to be quite pretty. I've seen, you know, children have absolutely no inhibitions at all. They just go for it. We're going to pick this color, that color, and you can see the mom just turning pale going, oh my gosh, that's going to be awful. And when we pull their creation out of the tank, their mouths just drop over. Yep, I'm getting ready to comb right now. This is the first step. If you don't make these lines, you don't get the pretty fine lines that I get, which are my favorite. We're actually going to do my favorite pattern in the whole wide world here in a minute. And I don't have one of my new combs left, or made yet for this tank. I don't know what I did with mine. Oh, and I forgot to take this other scarf out of the water. It's just floating in there. Let me get it out so I'll have a place to put this one when it's ready. See, I just put them in a little Ziploc baggie. And the floor in my guest bathroom, and the bathtub, I guess I should say, is very colorful. I take one of those magic erasers when it's time to clean it, if I actually have guests coming or something, and it takes the paint right off. It just cleans it up, sparkly new. So there we go. See? It's just in the bag. All right, so now let me dry my hands, and I will go get the, let me see a couple comments now that my hands are dry. Hello, Marina. Oh, good. I'm glad you made it home safely. We are making scarves tonight. I've made one already. Now, oh, I was going to come back and put a little bit of this UT color in here. See, and I can still do that even though I've already combed it. All right. There we go. So now I'm going to leave it just like this, and I'm going to bring the comb through it. Now, as I'm dragging this comb through, I could move it back and forth, but I don't want to today. Get a big paper towel. Just drying off the tines of this comb. Because these are just wood. Alright, so now I'm still not done. I have to come through here and swirl it a little bit more. Now there's no way you could duplicate that. All right, what do you think of that? Do you like it? Thank you, Linda. Oh, great. Thanks, Colleen. All right, let's get this thing printed and see how it looks. Thank you for the hearts and the thumbs up. I appreciate that. That makes me feel good. I think this is going to be gorgeous. This tank, we thought we were going to be so clever, and we used, oh, what's that stuff called? You see on the commercial where, and they put it on the bottom of the boat, and it stops the leak and all of that. Whatever, it's waterproof. And we didn't know at the time that that stuff flakes off. And so I keep getting little flakes of it in here. It doesn't hurt anything, but it just annoys me when I see it floating. So let me get my husband. Okay, dear. This pattern right here is my very favorite to do. I could do it all day long. This one and the stone pattern. Thank you, Marina. You sound like me. I make up words like that all the time. It's kind of our family joke at our house where we all make up words. All right, let's see. Oops, let me move this trash can. See how this one's going to come out. A minute to sit there. I'm just going to make sure it all comes in contact with the water and there's no bubbles underneath it. I'll get it. And then I'm going to come back with the, yeah, it looks good. I'll come back with the very pricey tool that I use. If we were all as lucky and have, you know, all our tools work. No, it only goes on the side that's down towards the water. I had mentioned earlier that I will sometimes, after it's been rinsed and hung to dry and pressed, I will do it. He just ran back in the other room. Stranger danger, even if you are on the camera, stranger danger. I will sometimes come and do the other side. You can see the color through to the other side, but it's not, it's just, you know, because it's silk and you can see through it. I could also, if I wanted to, once this is dry, I could prep this scarf again and do another print right on the same side that's printed right now. And that's called over marbling. And it adds just a depth to the design that it's amazing. So let's pull this thing out and see how it looks. So let me get the rinse bucket over here. I'm going to be interested to see what this one looks like when it's dry. I really don't think the colors are going to be as vivid as they look down here. I have to open this Ziploc bag, so my hands need to be dry to do that. But I could be wrong. The green is much deeper than it looked like on the water. Well, actually it's the same. It just wasn't what I had in my mind's eye. So we'll see. There's still a lot of excess paint on these when I put them in the bag. And doing this, I can't tell if I'm looking at the back or the front. But see, it's much more muted than it looked on the water. But let's see how it looks when I get it all rinsed out and hung up. Makes a big difference. So there we go for the scarves, 2 fall scarves. No, that doesn't matter at all. I tried to get AC or a guy that builds the trays for under hot water tanks to build me a tank. If I make the scarves, I sell them for $42. Unless, if they're over marbled or marbled on both sides, then they're $46. But if you make it, if you happen to be at one of my events, you don't have to pay for my labor, and it's only $40. So I sell them for $40, or between $40 and $50, depending on if I do both sides and all of that. I think that's a pretty reasonable price given what goes into it. And I still have to, rinse it again, hang it up, press it, and then it's ready. And then decide if I want to do the back. I could, on the one I just did, if I didn't think it was bright enough, I could just do the orange, that bright orange on the back, just by itself. And that might really pop up the color. But I think that green just really toned it all down. So now we get to do Halloween fabric for the quilt. And I know one color combo I want to try to use. I got all of the dog ears cut off the quilt blocks last night before I stopped and went downstairs. So hopefully tomorrow we'll be working on more squares. And once we get all the squares done, then I'll go ahead and show you how I put them together. This is not how everybody does it, but this is how I do it. Because I don't have a long arm machine to quilt it, and I just don't have a lot of time to go into the quilt store. It's 40 miles into town for me from here. Well, there's a smaller town, but the one with the quilt store that I like is in Boise. It's 40 miles. I could probably, there was one right down the street from me, but they closed. Right after I moved down here, of course. All right, so let me grab the trash can. No, that's very correct, Michelle. I mean, there are some things, you know, if you actually got paid for your time, they would be so expensive no one would ever buy them. I don't know how people make a living selling quilts because they're expensive to make and they take a ton of time. All right, one more swoosh with the paper. Want to make sure all of that is out of the green and teal is out of the tank. I don't know what this is. Don't know what it was. Okay, so now we're ready to start fresh. And I'm gonna do, I think I have, how many did we count? I said there would be no math today. Yeah, the cost, oh, thank you everyone. Yes, I've marbled on denim, leather, so it caught just regular. Now I'm going to use some, it's a good quality quilting fabric. So that's what I'm going to marble next. And I do want to, let me count my blocks first real quick. Yeah, there's 10 blocks. So I'm going to do, I'm going to block it off and I'm going to do 2 in each color. So that will work just fine. So let me see where you're going to be able to see well. So I can block it off here. And this just holds the paint in the area where I want it. And so I don't have to waste paint filling the entire tank for 2 little 10-inch squares. I tell you, I've got something tickling my chest in my shirt. Must be a hair. Fleece, I don't think fleece is going to marble well because it's not a nice smooth surface. I think it's more important that the surface is smooth than how thick it is. I have not tried fleece. We should try that. I'm not opposed to trying new things. But since it has a fuzzy nap, it's not going to take a good print. Because some of the fuzziness is going to lay down and get all icky, and it's going to collect the paint, and then the underneath part won't. So, does that make sense? All right, so we're going to try We're going to try these 3 colors together. Now, I don't know. I haven't used this new lime green a lot. I empty the tank after every time I use it. I do keep the water. Yeah, well, you would be surprised. Silk is very warm. It's, you want it like more of a shawl just on a cool evening in the summer. You don't want to wear it in the summer. And I do have a silk and wool, but I don't like the way it takes. It has a little texture to it, and I really don't like the way it takes. I bought 2 of those scarves just to test it, and I was not pleased. But even a flannel, I don't know how that would do. It's a little bit shorter, you know, it's not as fuzzy as a fleece. I might have to attempt that. All right. So, let's start with the green. Yeah, when I did bridal satin for the first time, I was so excited because I wasn't sure a man-made material like that would marble. So this is another one that I mixed. So you can tell that, see how it's taking a while for it to spread out versus spreading right away. It's not bad though. Now let's just pray the other colors want to float on this green. Let's do the orange. Orange, I never know which orange is going to work. I have 2 oranges. They're different colors, but usually one will work and one won't. Have a bubble. Yep, this is going to work just fine. Isn't that fun? I love doing this. In case you didn't notice, I love it. Now see, after I drop that yellow in, look at the orange. It's much more orange than it was. Right? Oh, Tammy, thank you. I'm happy. That makes me happy. You know, I wonder what it's going to look like if I pulled the comb through this instead of the straight lines. Look how pink that orange looks on top of that green. Did you all watch when I was making the baby bodysuits? It's been about a week ago, maybe. That was so much fun, and I have so many ideas for that now. That would be fun. I wouldn't mind coming to Ohio to play. My daughter actually was going to go to Ohio. Her boyfriend's dad was getting remarried, and she was supposed to be the maid of honor at the wedding. And she and her boyfriend both got COVID and couldn't go. All right, here we go. We're going to try it. Little bit different look. Let me get some paper towel. Now, again, I want to always use, oh, got hair in my mouth. Metallic. I want to use metallic on cloth so bad, but you can't. It does not show up. And I didn't believe it when people, you know, I read that and people told me that. Of course, me being me, thought, oh, I don't believe it. But it's true. It just disappears entirely. So there's that. So that's fun. So I think I'll go ahead and leave it. I won't work with it anymore. And I'll put the two 10-inch squares in here. And I think I want to angle them. You see how I put it down in the center and let it roll out? That's so we don't get bubbles under it. Because if there was a bubble under there, hello Fiona. Thanks Bobby. Okay, let's see how it's gonna look. Let me get the rinse bucket over here. And let me get a baggie open, or out and open, so I don't have to struggle. All right, let's see what these look like. Oh, how fun is that? How fun is that? That's gonna look so fun in that quilt. So again, into the rinse bucket. I'll rinse them one more time when I get in the house tonight. And then I'll hang them up and let them dry. They'll be dry tomorrow sometime. I'll take them down and I'll press them with an iron. I always press on whatever setting your iron would be, whether it's cotton, silk, whatever. So I press it on that setting, and then you're ready to play with it. So I just squeeze some of the excess water out. I want to make sure I've got both of them. Yeah. Oh, that's so fun. That's going to look really cute in that quilt. All right, let me dry my hands and then I'll pick this paint up. Now if I wanted to, because we didn't take a lot of paint out, we did take some. I could use, let me do it. I want to show you the difference. This is going to be called, what's called a ghost print, because I'm using the, I don't want this piece, but I can use this and swirl this back into where that was taken away from. And I'll probably just put the ghost, or maybe over here. There's more paint over there. Because every time I take something out, that takes paint off the surface, and the other paint tries to move in and fill the place. Well, this is for a quilt. You want a quilt and matching earrings? But I don't know what I'll do with these little scraps of fabric. You know, you can always find reason to use scraps. So I never throw anything away. So there we go. I just put that right down in there. And this one, when I show it to you, oh, actually it looks pretty good. But it's going to look a little bit different than the one I just pulled out. This is going to be a little bit softer, because some of the paint had already come out off of the surface. Usually I don't like ghost prints, And I really dislike like this area right here. If I printed over that, I would not be pleased at all with the way it looked. So let me get this piece of cotton in the bag with that other, and then I'll clean that up. And I'll take a picture of them side by side once they're dry so you can see the difference. Now I have to be very careful. I have my paper and my fabric sitting right back here on the table, and as I was moving my hand, yes, it will. The color will stay on there. As I was moving my hand, I nearly dripped water onto the cloth that's back there waiting to be marbled. If the water, or if the water is wet, no, if the cloth gets wet, it will not accept marbling where it got wet. Good morning, or good afternoon, Jean. Yeah, I don't have anything out here prepped, or I would. I do that quite a bit. I a lot of times will marble the scarf, and then on the edges I'll do the earrings so they match. So let me move the rinse bucket out of the way because I will fall over it. I'm going to be doing some, one thing on my list of things to do are some leather bracelets, the cuff bracelets, and that will be so much fun. And I may do earrings to match at that time. The last set of earrings I made, well, not the last set, but I was working with some pink when I did a hat. I used some of the before I pulled the hat out, I laid the leather down for the earrings. And Dodo Brain Me, I have one on the suede side and one on the smooth side. I'm just like, well, now what do I do with those? I was kind of disgusted about that. I get so excited when I do this sometimes that I have these beautiful, you know, the folding fans. You know, the ones that open like this and then close back up. I have some of those that just turn out gorgeous when you marble them. All right, let me get the trash can. And now I can still see some of the green floating right here, so I will do it once more. Does anybody have any fun weekend plans? Oh, I moved the trash can to the other end and then I came this way. Okay, that looked like it came off pretty clean. Sometimes if there's paint along the edge here, you'll see it start like right there. I can see it doing it right there. So what I'm going to do is just come along here like this and clean that off. Now I'll take that green off the surface. We might actually, I don't know what time it is. Anybody have the time for mountain time, or just tell me what time zone you're in? So I can, oh, that would be math. I said there's no math tonight. Am I getting boring? Should I continue? I will continue with the quilt fabric, but I may save the paper until Monday. Oh, I should just get it done though. Should just get it done so I can stay out here. If I'm getting boring, let me know and I'll pop off and finish it by myself. Keep going. So it's 6:30 here. So I've been on an hour and a half already. Whoo, doggies. All right, so let me get my barricades down again. Y'all aren't tired of hearing me jabber? Okay. That. Thank you, Colleen. Thank you, Bobby. Yep, you're central. I knew that one. Okay. So now what do we do? Thank you. So, now staying with the Halloween theme, any suggestions? What color? I know I can put, purple down first and then orange and yellow on it. Or I can put purple down and yellow and white. Shall we do that? Should I do it like that? I don't think I've done that one before. Yes, it really does. And when I'm at the office, Shelley, the clock just stops. I can look up at it every half hour and it's moved 1 minute. Purple, orange, green, and white. I don't have, well, before I say that, let me look. Purple, I need the purple. The purple is not, this is my, to use that fun green, I'd have to use this purple. It's more of a violet than this purple. You might be able to tell in this bottle. See, well, because I don't have a bright one, or I don't have a bright green in this one. I just have a regular, like a Christmas green. I don't remember in my fabrics if I have anything that has like a violet on it. So let's use this purple. Let's do the bright orange and white. Let's use that combination, but I will start with the purple because this is all going into the quilt that I've been making. And so I want each of the marbled fabrics to look a little bit different. I do have to, they're all going to be generally the same color, but I could throw a little black in here. And do you see the gaps in between the purple blobs? Anywhere there's a gap like that, the white of the fabric is going to come through. So I may not even need any of that white. But I want to have enough paint on the surface where the colors are nice and bright. See what a difference that makes right there? I wonder if I can, let's see. Thinking. This is kind of a, no, that's red. All right, let's add some more orange. See, now the purple is starting to make me happy. So I'll come in with one more thing of purple. All right, so now let's move this around. I always move the paints aside because I know I will knock them off. So we will freehand this one, freestyle. I do have some earrings that I did in Halloween colors. They're not listed yet on my website. I tell you, I've been working very, very hard after my lives to get things done. And I haven't had a chance to do all the photography and all of that. That's the not so fun part. One of these days, I actually love photography, but I like nature photography, not product photography. And I'd like to hire somebody to do that for me one of these days. Can you see right here where that white is going to show? There's not as much. There's only a little bit on this side. There's more on that edge. So that'll be interesting. These blocks are going to be fun, I think. Especially once I cut them apart. All right, let me get the rinse bucket over here. The water looks very, very green in the rinse bucket, but that won't hurt. Once the water's, or I did it again. Once the fabric is wet, it won't accept more color. And then let's see this one. Get them rinsed. Yeah, somebody was asking about the water. I do drain the tanks every time I work and put them back into, I use these great big 3-gallon jugs. So I put the water back in there and put it in the refrigerator. I did notice, thank you, when this came out, it is starting to smell a little bit. It's not bad. And it's still floating paint just fine, so I can use it until it won't float, or I can't stand the smell. I have a very, very sensitive nose. And when the smell gets to me, I have to empty it. I don't like to do that because the seaweed powder is quite expensive, so I try to get as many uses out of the water as I can. And it's much nicer to be doing this at home rather than out where the water is going to get hot and then cold and hot and cold, because that will degrade the water as well. And that's also not good for the paints. So there we go, little baggie of purple and orange. So that makes me think we need just a yellow and orange. I use filtered water. It's not, I don't use, what's it called? I want to say denatured, but that's denatured alcohol. I just go, you know the big things at Walmart? I'm on a well, so I don't use tap water because there's too many minerals in the water I use, and that can impact the way your paint floats. So I go to Walmart in one of those reverse osmosis things, and I get my water there. And even if it's just city water, it works for me. So, you know, I don't know if it's actually filtered water or not. But I do know it doesn't have the same metals and stuff as mine would have. Yeah, the reverse osmosis. But that's not the one I wanted. What's the other one? Oh, getting old stinks. It's not the word I was looking for. It's abandoning me tonight. So it'll come to me probably when I'm about ready to fall asleep. Need one more little piece here. Let's see if I can read some comments. Yes, I mix in seaweed powder. And that makes it a little slimy. It also makes it a little bit thicker. Now, if it's really warm, I'll mix in a little more because the water wants to relax if it's really warm. But when I work in the garage in the winter, it's always cold, which is good. Move the rinse bucket out of the way. This is one, when I take this on the road, it is one heavy procedure. If I'm hauling water and the paints and the tanks, and I was wishing I would have found this when I was younger because it would have been much easier to haul all this stuff around. I feel I was a little bit stronger then. All right, here we go. That looks pretty good. So now, what do you think? Should we just do yellow and orange? Just yellow and orange? Because that's 2. I have 3 more sets to do. Shall we use these 2 yellow and orange? We use these same ones on that other one. I think that sounds like a good plan. So let me barricade this off again. Oh, and I came up with a design for a shirt today. I cannot wait to try it. You know, I have been wanting to try, I've tried t-shirts before. I have not succeeded. But what I want to do is, I think I might be able to be successful. Yeah, just Halloween colors is all I need. Maybe I'll do orange, black, and yellow here in a minute. Let's see, there was another, yes, I did take all of this to Scott's. I had it all there. And I had this tank up, I had my bandana tank, and the hat tank. I've been back to Crafters Convention several times. I went like 2 years in a row, and then he had one, I think it was like in September or something, and I was too worried about you know, taking a trailer across Nebraska and Wyoming in what could have snow. So I didn't go to that one. I've always sent something. And yes, I was on stage at Scott's very first Crafters Convention. I had just started doing this, and he saw it and asked me if I'd like to do it. And of course, you're not going to turn that down. And I was thinking as I was watching those wonderful designers this year that, you know, I know so much more now about this than I did then, that I would have a lot more to say. I was so nervous when I was up there. The room went dead silent when I was working. I thought they're all sitting there wondering, what the heck is this woman doing on stage? Get her off. But I don't know if I have any navy in my other pieces, Colleen. I do, that sounds like a very pretty one, but I don't think I have any navy in there. I guess it wouldn't hurt to put some in. So let's do this one. I met Colleen at the show where I was on stage. Yeah, it's just fun. Scott and Chris are some wonderful, wonderful people. And I like to support what they do. Oh, thank you, Colleen. Hi, Joyce. Yes, I do put it. You don't have to. Some marblers will keep their water out, but they don't make it in the quantity I do. And it just won't last as long if you keep it out. And I want to get as many uses out of it as I can. And I can't marble every single day. It's just impossible. Trying to get home from work sometimes is just challenge enough. So, and then we actually use the garage for my husband's car. All right, where's my stick? Okay, I know what I'm going to do. We're going to do a traditional pattern. I'm going to comb it. We're going to do my favorite pattern. So this is going to be 6 when I get these two done. And I think I will do, if I have enough, I think I did this a little closer together, the newspaper. I think I'm going to use that other piece of scrap, if it fits. So let me get the comb. And you know, this is just like everything else. Every marbler has their own way of doing things, their own, to some extent, technique, their own patterns that they like. Oh, that looks so cool. Again, if I am missing your questions, I will come back later. It may not be until tomorrow. I am going to be so exhausted after I'm done here tonight that I probably am just going to go in and sit down, and I may even have some popcorn. My oldest daughter is going through some things, and so she called me late last night, and then I was awake afterwards and couldn't go back to sleep. I've had issues sleeping the last couple weeks, so I just may take it easy tonight after I'm done. It'll take me probably the better part of an hour to get everything all cleaned up and put away. Let's see, I'm gonna stick it in. then I will go in and kick my feet up. I will probably be doing some computer work for Etsy and all of that. There we go. There's our pieces. The rinse bucket over. When I do the paper, I can probably do the paper all in one, or at least most of them in one tank, so that won't take me too long. Once I get this fabric then it'll go pretty quickly. So there we go. Oh, that's pretty. Look at that. I am pleased with that. All right, so now what did I say we were going to use? I was going to put black. Somebody remind me what I was going to do. I have such colorful hands when I'm done. Thank you, Marina. I also have long silk ties. So if anyone needs a Christmas gift of a custom silk tie, let me know and we can talk colors. I do have some men's bow ties as well. They're the kind that you actually tie though. Hello, Judy. All right, here's a pretty little bag of gorgeousness. And by the time I get all the pieces rinsed and hanging and everything picked up and put away, I'm going to be worn out. All right, let's get rid of this color. So what did I say for the other one? I know I was going to put black in it, but I don't remember what other colors. Black and purple and yellow? I think maybe that's what I said. I think that's what I said. That's what one we'll do next. Even the trash can gets heavy. When I've had a busy day at an event, I can barely lift the garbage bag out of the trash can because so much of the liquid comes off of this paper, you know, when I'm throwing it away, that it's just, ugh, it's heavy. There's a bubble under there. See where it was? And there was one right there. And if there's a bubble under there, then the paper is not making contact with the water and it won't remove. Oh, thank you, Colleen. Thank you, Linda. Guys, have you seen the hats and stuff that I've been blinging out? Oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun with that. All right, that looks pretty good. So let me get more paper. absolutely. I used to say when I was younger, and you know, your priorities change as you get older, but I used to say that, you know, I'd love to just have I'd love to be in diamonds, pearls, and a sweatshirt and holy jeans. And now, instead of spending the money on the diamonds, because now I know how much that is, I enjoy my crystals instead. Oh, welcome to my world, Marina. My kids all think I'm crazy. Because I can get the sparkle without the big bill. I think I put those a little bit too close. All right, there we go. So let's use purple, yellow, and the black. I think I have the black out right here. Well, I think I used the black in the other one, didn't I? Have to use this black though, because this purple is the better purple. The other one's more violet colored. Paper towel. I'm getting tired, guys. I just turned around and was standing there looking at, like, what was I doing? Yeah, I do want to get that paper done though, so it can be drying, and I can, as I'm pressing all the quilt blocks tomorrow, I can press that paper. Is anyone going to TDR in November? Texas Designers Roundup? I won't be there, unfortunately. I'd love to travel to all these events. I'd love to travel and be a vendor at all these events, even though I can do mesh, I can do ribbon. But I just, you know, the people that I have met through the wreathing world are just some of the most kind and friendly people. And so I really enjoy keeping my, keeping myself, you know, acquainted with people from that industry. So now we'll do the yellow, and then I'll come back. Yeah, it would be, especially if you're traveling. If you were close and, you know, could go home and not have to have a hotel and the airfare or, you know, fuel, it'd be a whole different story. Okay, now I don't want tons of black. Look how pushy that black is. And now I'm going to add more yellow because this black is going to look gray. I can tell it needs to be pushed. I think this black is kind of old. I do believe I need to refresh it. Okay, and now I'll use a little bit more purple in the black and yellow circles. Yeah. No, generally he doesn't go with me. He usually works. I told him I want to, if Scott and Chris will let me, I want to be a vendor again next year at Crafters Convention. And I told him I wanted him to come with me because I want him to meet some of my friends. I don't know how I get it all done either, Tammy. I've always been a busy person, always, my entire life. When I was in high school, I was in so many activities and things. I've lost my stick, and And then I had 3 kids, you know, and they were in all their activities, and I worked full time, and my husband worked away, so we were running all the time. So it's just my nature. I like being busy. I like having things to do. And I've always had a problem with getting to bed at a reasonable hour. When I get home, I'm really, really tired for a little while, and then I get a second wind. And, you know, it used to be that's when the kids had gone to bed, and so I could actually get something done without, you know, the homework and where are your shoes? Is your backpack ready? Those kind of things. And, you know, do you have a bake sale tomorrow? Did you study for your exam? Those kind of things. Typical mom stuff. And so I think that's just why I still kind of do that. So now this is going to have some white in it too, because here is some white. There's some open places in this where it's the white's going to show through. This might be really pretty. After this, I have one more tank. So I think we should do orange and black. Very traditional colors. One more tank of fabric, I should say. Ta-da! All right, you guys, watch the time for me because they'll kick me off. Facebook will kick me off if I'm on longer than 3 hours. It feels like I've been on here all afternoon. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? All right, I forgot to get the baggie out before my hands were wet. And if you could see down here, I would just go ahead and make the next one there, but you can't see it, so. Then I could clean the whole tank at once. There. Is that okay? Will that work for you? You can kind of see that. And then I'll just clean the whole tank all at one time. Or do you want me to clean it and work in the middle where you can really see? I probably should do that. So you can see it well. It's not going to take me very long. You know, when I go to some of these, oh, I forgot to put the fabric in the, hello. Squirrel. Already off on something else. When I go to some of these shows, it's so funny because this is me. This is who I am. Jeans and a sweatshirt. That's who I am. I love it. It's nothing fancy. It's nothing, you know, funky. It's just me. And I go to some of these shows and, you know, the artists are, you know, they have on these, well, what I consider to be a little eccentric outfits and stuff. And then there's me, jeans and a sweatshirt, unless it's summer. And then I have capris and a t-shirt. And I always think there must be something wrong with me. If I'm the artist that's just, I don't know. I don't know. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I don't dress that way. I guess I'm just simple. I'd rather my art stand out than me and what I'm wearing. Okay, so we were gonna do purple and, black and orange. All right, I'm gonna get the rinse bucket out of the way. I should have good upper body strength, but lifting all this stuff around. My husband, several years ago, he hurt his back and had to have back surgery. And they gave him one of these things that, you know, you grab things with. And it kind of has a trigger on it and it closes like this at the end. Well, I've gotten more use out of that thing than he ever did. And, cause he couldn't, you know, couldn't move, couldn't bend for a long time. And, I was taking the paper down out of the tub and I put an extra rod down the center of the shower so I can, you know, hang stuff up there without climbing up on the side and nearly falling down and all of that stuff. So I just used that and grabbed the hangers and put it up on the side, or up on the rod. And it was just making me laugh when I was taking the paper down. Going, boy, I've got a lot of use out of this thing. Made for those of us who are height challenged. My daughter always says I have a T-Rex arms. They're so short. My legs aren't much better. But that's okay. All right, let's do this one last time for fabric. Thank you guys for hanging with me this long. Yeah, I will. I will definitely just stay me. I'm too darn old now to try to change. Okay. Get that bubble out of there. We don't like bubbles. All right, new paper towel. Black and orange. Okay, and I'm going to put the black in first. Since it was so pushy on that other one. In this quilt, the way that it's going to work is I have a little bit of marbled fabric in the first row. I have a little bit more in the next one, and then even more in the last one. So it's going to look really cool if it turns out like I have the idea in my mind. Whoops. So we shall see. Does anybody else on here do quilts? Got some bubbles. All right. I had some, well, I suppose you could, Marina. I don't know that I would recommend it. One of my friends that I recently met, I met her in August, and I was watching one of her lives the other night, and she was selecting fabric for a new quilt. And then, you know, she cross stitches, she wreathes, and does all kinds of stuff. And I'm just going, girl, we are sisters from another mother. And she has the big quilting machine, which I've always wanted. I have no idea where I would put it. Now this is going to have a little bit of white in it. See these light spots? That's all going to be white. All right. Last two pieces of fabric. It's so hard for me to decide exactly where I want to put it down. All right, let's see what this looks like. Let me get the baggie out first and get it open. When my husband does go to shows with me, he's always the one who, he gets the baggies out, he has them ready for me. He cleans up the tank so I can move on to the other tank or, you know, the next customer. It's just, we have just a great process, and he's kind of shy, so he doesn't like, oh, how fun. I would be deadly working in a quilt store because I'd have it all in my house. And we have a really good team, so he doesn't very often have to talk to the customer. Not that he can't, he knows about it. He's heard me talk about it enough. But he just feels so uncomfortable. All right, so there's that. All the fabric is done. So that, I just marbled, once they're cut up, there's going to be 40 more blocks. We have some dark ones, some bright ones. All right, so let me get some newsprint down on that. And then we're going to do, thank you, Colleen. Then we're going to do the paper. And I'm almost 100% sure they will all fit in one tray. And that works for me, because they don't have to be, they're going to get cut up anyway, so it'll be fine. Look at that, I did it right, so there isn't a little gap. I always say I would love to be able to, you know, retire and then travel to shows all over. You know, I've never been to Florida. I've never been to a lot of places on the East Coast that I'd like to go. There's a lot of places in the South that I'd like to go. You know, I don't know. I might not get into all those shows, but that would be so fun. And so let's, you know, buy one of those driving camper things and put the trailer behind it and go see the USA. Now, can you see this? I don't know if you can see it. I can't zoom in. There's a bubble right there, an orange and black bubble. So it's a little bit of paint that's just bubbled up, and it's just hanging out there. And those things are so hard to pick up. Put this at this end this time. So now for the next colors, I'm thinking something like, I think I will definitely use an orange. I think I will use that off-white that I was talking about. I want it to be pumpkin colored. You know, anything you would associate with pumpkin. So there, it can have some green in it. It can have, you know, a little bit of yellow. So I want the other green. I want this one. I want this one. Trying to think, maybe I think this one, maybe some of this. So do you think this looks pumpkin-like? let's go with that. And I'm gonna do the base in this cream color. Get me a new paper towel. Good thing this is the last one because I'm almost out of paper towels on my roll. Thank you, Angie. Thanks, Colleen. Now, there's so many places in the USA I've never seen and I would like to go that I just thought that would be so fun. And meeting people, I always meet, you know, your neighbors when you're at a show. And when I was at Crafters Convention this past month, the people next to me were from Florida. And there's no way I would have ever met them had I not gone to that event. I have a cousin that lives in Florida, but I have never been. Whoops, and I just knocked the paint down. So I like meeting new people and going to new places. The only issue for me is food. I have food allergies and I'm very, very picky. So, that I usually, well, even when I went to Crafters Convention, I just took lunch meat, chips, stuff for sandwiches, and I was fine with that. I ate out once while I was there. Twice? I think once. Let's see, I think I want to do the orange next, and then the green. This is a little bit different green than I used before. See, it's bad because I didn't label this. I don't know what color orange this is, because it's a little different than the other one. I may throw a little bit of that other orange in here if it'll float. Generally, pumpkins aren't just one color of orange, right? Let's see. This one's a little bit softer. So don't forget to like and follow my page. Sprinkle out the video. Whoop! And leave me a comment. And the prizes, I will let you in on a sneak little bit of information. One of the prizes will be given away next week. All right, so now a little bit of the green. I've got this great big thing of orange down here at this end. And then I'll put in a little bit of that, I don't know what color it is. Just kind of a taupey color. All right. Am I getting close to my 3-hour time limit? Now tomorrow I will be back on at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Mountain Time. I will not be marbling in the morning. Okay, so I want to put in some of this orange again. I'm just kind of throwing the paint on here. I forget I can do that. It's a little messy if I'm not careful. Before, when I've taken the tank down and put my iPad in the other room, I look at it and it's got paint speckles all over it. Okay, that's good. Actually, you know what I might do? Let's do that with the green too. Yeah, I think I'm going to be working on the quilt. I'll have the fabric will be dry, and how's that? Is that good? I say let's go with it. So I will do my favorite design on this one as well. Trying to get some of these paints back in the box. They're all on the edge of this cutting board, and I need the cutting board when I work with paper. So just getting some of these put back in the box. Oh, you know what? You know what? I can use gold on paper. So let's put in some of the metallic. It's very subtle on the paper, you know, but if you look at it, now I need to put more something in here. I think more of the darker orange. See what I mean? I go one direction and then I veer off. Squirrel! Now we are done. We are done. Oh, you can really see the metallic on the screen. Almost forgot I could use that, which is usually what happens. I get so focused on the ones that are in front of me that I forget the others. One more. And everything else moved aside. Out, and I need to get a bottle of water. Just getting prepped to rinse the papers. Alright, so let me go ahead and move the paint. I think this is going to be really pretty. Do I say that all the time? I say that all the time, and I say, oh my gosh, I love doing this. That's what I do. When I go from, you know, when I've been crocheting for a long time, and then I go quilt or something, I'll do that. Oh my gosh, I love this. Which is why I have all the things. See, when I do Monday night marbling, I can't marble for this long. Because I've got to go to bed. Look how pretty that is. That would have been a pretty scarf, huh? Had I been thinking about it, I could have laid down a gold base and then worked everything else on top of that. That would have been pretty. If I have more papers, I'm sure I'll have to do more paper. But I kind of want to see how much I get out of this before I just willy-nilly marble a ton of paper. All right, here we go. Now I have a little drying rack set up right kind of behind my tables, behind me where I'm standing. And I'm going to just drape the papers over that today. So let me get my comb. Instead of trying to run them into the bathroom and do that, that would take forever. Oh, you can still see, on the water, you can see the metallic still. There we go. I better save that. That's my last bit of paper towel. So now let me go through it one more time and do the swirl here and there because I have to. Oh my gosh, I wish you all were standing right here with me seeing this gold. It does come out very subtle on the paper. All right, here we go. I did not iron my paper tonight. I'm going to start down here on this end. I did not have time to iron it. One down. I know you can't see all of these. And I've mentioned before, there's paper has a smooth side and a more textured side, and I always like to use the textured side. I don't know why that is. This is my yummy rice paper that I love to use. These sheets are a little bit smaller than other papers. So I know I'll have to do more, but oh my gosh, they marble so pretty. And I'm trying to put these down where I see the most gold, metallic. I might not be able to get all 10 of them in here. But we're not going to make another tank. Either way, I'll be done when I'm done here. My luck, I'll get 9 of them in here. Oh, that's so pretty right there. Oh, you know what? It might work. I don't think it's going to work. I'm going to get 9 of them in here. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of them in here. I don't think they'll fit side to side. Oh, I wish I had something else. I wish I had a prepped piece of leather to put in here. Because leather will accept the metallic. And this is so pretty. Oh my gosh, this is pretty. All right, enough carrying on. Let me start taking these out. There's the first one. Okay, let me take it over and get it on this rack. Next one. It sure is nicer working in the garage. I don't have to worry about paint dripping anywhere. Look at that piece. Hello, Louise. We are marbling paper right now. This one over. Oh my gosh, guys, these are turning out so pretty. Okay. We're almost done for the evening. Hey, Stony. I'm working on some paper right now. We've made quilt blocks. We have marbled scarves. I've been on here for forever tonight. Just finishing up, we're taking the last batch of items out of the tank. I'm working in the garage tonight. All right, next one. Yes, I saw that. I saw he and Angie post their pictures. Oh, look at that. I've already dumped out a whole bottle of water, so. Using some of the green water that we rinsed the scarves in earlier. Doesn't hurt a thing. I'm so anxious to see how much of the gold is gonna actually be visible on this when we're done, when they're dry. Now again, this is my favorite rice paper that I'm using tonight. I do have a thinner rice paper that I use sometimes, but this is my nice one. And this is a little bit lighter. Thank you, Angie. This is a little bit lighter weight than the masa paper that I used the other day. A lot more expensive comparatively. I mean, it's still paper, but comparatively, it's definitely more expensive. No two sheets of these papers are going to be the same. Just like the scarves and anything else. And the rice paper dries super quickly. So I know these will be ready. I'll take them off the rack tomorrow and press them, like I said, with my quilt fabric. The rice paper is a little bit more fragile than the masa paper is, but it's surprisingly durable. I wasn't sure the first time I used it what was going to happen, whether it was going to completely deteriorate, especially the thin one. Look at that. One more in there. Oh, this paper takes the marbling just wonderfully. All right, last one coming out of the tank. Let me dry my hands a little bit. All right. I am not disappointed with any of these. All right, let me rinse it. There that is. Let me pull the camera up. Hi everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. I can't get it to go back up where it was. Sorry. Scrunch down. I hope you enjoyed it. I had fun visiting with all of you. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you being here and watching and visiting with me. It just makes my day. So thank you so much. Again, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, I'll be back and you can see the results of what we did today. So thank you everyone. Have a wonderful night. Bye.